This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in metaquest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The metaquest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code Ruff Talk VR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're doing another edition of Monday Morning News. I know last week we did
Love me some news.
Yeah, we did in Monday Morning News, but it wasn't really news. It was more of like, the games we want and the journey thus far. So this is actually talking news.
Legit news, not our fake news, I guess.
Yeah, and hey, and luckily this week they gave us plenty to talk about with the metaquest Connect 2022 just happening, and then there's a couple other things going on too. So this is going to be an easy one, I'll say.
Well, I say it every time we do a news one. I'm like, there's never shortage, and typically after we talk about it, there's even more news like 24, 48 hours later.
Yeah, that's been
sometimes
happening.
Like too much news.
Yeah, that's been happening to us a lot recently, and it's like, if we could have recorded on Monday, but I like to have this ready to start the work week, right? It's a good little treat for the week.
Seems no matter what we do for even reviewing games, the same shit happens.
It seems like
we'll say something and then 24 hours later there'll be some update. And
I was going to say, in fact, the best way for us to get a feature we want is to record a review of it and say it's not on there. We'll probably get the review quicker than
it already been worked on.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So
this is this week's news though,
right? And like I referenced, last week was the metaquest Connect 2022, which it was it the best conference in the world? I'd say probably no, but there was some good stuff there. We got some nice treats.
I mean, I found it somewhat entertaining, but I definitely feel like, there was some things I wanted to hear about that never even came up. Or
are you saying Grand Theft Auto?
You knew exactly.
San Andreas?
You knew exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, we have that worry. We were even saying a couple weeks ago, if we don't hear about GTA at the Quest Connect, and now it's the paranoia.
But it is also so rock starish to not say something, because they could say, we told you a year ago we were doing it, so. Well, you'll know when we're ready to tell you.
And it seems like overall with both their hardware and a lot of the games, like we'll talk about later, when the meta strategy is like drop the release and the update, it's probably going to be a month away, right? Yeah. Like example, the Quest 2, the Quest Pro, which they announced at the Connect 2022, that's dropping this month. It's in retailers. You can pre-order it and you'll have it at
pre-order for
the end of the month, and it's
$1,500.
Yeah,
as we learned, like 2,500 Canadian.
Yeah, depending on where you are in the world, your conversion is either in your favor or against your favor. But yeah, the MetaQuest Pro is $14.99 with some cool features. Like example, it's the first one to feature the Snapdragon XR2 Plus. That's the processing chip. All the the Quest 2, the Pico 4, they all have the XR2. Just default. This is the first headset with a Plus. Hey, who knows? Let's see if that actually makes a big difference or not. There's also some cool features, like what I'm most excited for, that color pass-through.
Yeah, I'm a little jelly. Wow, street racers.
Right?
No, I'm a little jealous that, there doesn't seem to be, there's no update that's ever going to happen for Quest 2, because it's just not designed that way.
It's a hardware thing. They have black and
white
infrared
all of a sudden start
cameras.
seeing color. Yeah.
Doesn't work like that. I mean, the Pico 4 does have color pass-through as well, but the way it works is it's kind of like a fisheye lens. So, it has that fisheye recording view. The Quest Pro has multiple cameras with software that make a full...
Puts it all together.
Real nice. And some of the early footage I've seen of it, the color pass-through looks dope. I love that. I'm excited.
No, the whole unit itself looks... I mean, there's plenty of pictures now, but it's a sleek-looking machine.
It's light. It looks like that's going to be the headset style of all future headsets. It looks
Yeah,
very
that
modern.
looks more like ski goggles than it does, you're wearing literally a brick with straps.
Yeah, it looks super lightweight. I mean, I cannot wait to see what, developers start to whip out with this color pass-through. And even just for the homeroom, like my homeroom right now is the black and white shitty infrared camera environment.
You just use the pass-through. Yeah. I didn't like the environments anymore because the ability to design your own environment wasn't there per se. So it's like as the technology gets better and you're able to add things now to your homes, and then I'll start be more inclined to use the. But even when you visit my home, I'm always in pass-through mode.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we can't see each other's
Nope.
home environment. They do that for privacy reasons. I
know,
wish that
and
you
I'll
could
check off. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll promise to be in my clothes.
Yeah, well, let me do it per user. Like, hey, this person can see my environment. This person.
I was
can't.
bummed about that.
Yeah,
because it's like I see you pop up there, but it'd be cool if you could actually see my dirty living room.
Yeah, if I go into your home environment with pass-through, it shows my home environment with pass-through.
Yeah.
So it's like
you just see the avatar there, but it's still cool.
Yeah. So imagine that with color, and then like example, Demio, they're rolling out mixed reality Resolution Games is doing it for Demio. Well, you'll be able to play the board in mixed reality. As cool as that is in the black and white infrared, color pass-through is a different animal.
Still cool though.
And then
I'll give props for that.
Yeah, and even more so to just the game mode. Resolution Games also announced that they have a new game called Spatial Ops coming. It's mixed reality, first-person shooter, multiplayer shooter. So like you play with your friends in mixed reality. I'm real curious to see how this goes.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a couple good mixed reality games I've seen in the works, and man, the Quest Pro is probably gonna push that to a whole new level.
Yeah, again, the whole thing just on site looks pretty sleek. It's got built-in battery now.
It's got face tracking. It's got eye tracking.
And to put to rest, because it's 50-50 when you see people post and you wonder where they get their stats from. But there's a whole bunch of people who are like, oh, it's only a 30-minute charge on the headset, and it's a 30-minute charge on the...
Yeah, my understanding headset is 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, which is pretty, I'd say...
standard.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you're looking for it to be a full, like, work device, that's probably tough. Unless you're like, all right, I'll do 2 hours on, 1 hour off. That's how my work day goes,
Or they figure...
charge it as you use it. Probably use it
plugged in
at your desk. And then the controllers, which is one of the most interesting things about, like we said, the Quest Pro is $14.99. The Quest Pro controllers themselves sell for $2.99.
Ouch.
And they are compatible with the Quest 2.
Yeah, when you first sent me a message, you're like, they're compatible with our headsets.
Tell me you weren't tempted.
Yeah, I was like, well, yeah, okay. And then you sent me the price, and I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's hard. But the controllers look real nice. There's no more halo ring.
No.
It looks very like break your hand, you hit the wall with that thing, But they look lightweight. They look lightweight.
I like how you can use the backside of it as a stylus.
Stencil. Yep, for a stylus, yeah. For a lot of the, the at-home working stuff, that's going to be very convenient. Drawing on boards and things like that.
Yeah, the word whiteboard seems to be used so much with VR. You can put that right on a whiteboard.
Hey, look, the tech world loves whiteboards. Even me, you're trying to put ideas down. It's like you get so much planning.
But
Whiteboard.
Pictionary VR isn't out yet. It's like so stupid. It's like the most generic thing. You could do it in any one of the Office things.
But these also have finger tracking. They have some nice, I'll say
facial gesture.
Index finger tracking on the Quest Pro controllers. And some haptics, but what's real interesting is that the controllers themselves are, Zuck said it themselves, they're basically computers of their own. Like, they have their own tracking in them. They don't rely off the headset tracking.
Yeah.
So you can do 360 tracking and stuff like that. What I instantly went to is, how much does that change, like, boxing games? Anybody who's played Thrill the Fight or any of the other, like, sword fighting games or anything like that, you swing too fast. It's tough with the headset tracking.
Although I do give their AI credit for filling in blanks.
Oh, no. Developers do an amazing job making it a palatable
and that's actually
experience.
something that people probably don't even really put a lot of thought into, though. But
no, there's hardware limitations. These things only track so much. I wonder how much that's going to make, these games that rely off that controller tracking, 10 times better.
I would think the accuracy would instantly improve. Or you would not improve because now it's more accurate and you really sucked and the AI was filling in blanks that weren't as real as...
Yeah.
So it may work in your favor or it may work totally against you.
But again, these controllers are $299. The full headset itself is it's $1,500 US dollar. I mean, it's
don't break a controller if you bought the Pro. Holy God!
I can't wait to see the Kiwi accessories coming out for this thing.
Well,
but,
yeah, not to cut you off, but it was cool to hear Zuck kind of encourage and be happy for that third-party market that exists.
Yeah.
Instead of being like wicked proprietary about it and being like, only this should work.
Yeah, you can only use Quest official stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually really cool because to me, one of the things I took away from the conference was we want everybody to win, from the consumer,
the developer,
everybody. They don't want anybody, the third party person, and there's no shortage of third parties that are.
Yeah, our podcast is sponsored by Kiwi. We're big advocates on them. I think they're the best, but they're not the only company. It's kind of like.
There's tons of them.
There's a whole industry of it. It's really cool to see, and they all kind of specialize at this point because of how many are sold. Quest accessories.
Yeah, so it was nice to see him actually recognize that.
Yeah, and look, if you hear $15.99 or $2.99 even just for the controllers, and you go, "Wow, that's out of my price range," the reality is, unfortunately, this isn't a gamer, marketed headset. This is a headset for
architects and businesses and alleged, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Well, hey, there's a lot of companies that, especially if,
the store's going to be on it, right?
Like it's going to be compatible with all the Quest games too. I know.
So we're going to give you this business headset, but when you're not doing important business stuff, we've got this store built right in.
There's a good old Beat Saber,
Yeah.
Which is another game that would probably benefit from the controller tracking improvement. You know? Any game like that is going to have a big improvement. So
I would think any shooting game, anything.
Yep. But definitely this one's aimed more for professionals. So, if you feel it's not for you, the reality is, hey, look, if 15 was in my budget, I'd have it. Don't get me wrong.
Then therefore you would be a professional.
I'd be a professional consumer.
They've given you a professional price tag is what they've given you.
But what I've seen some people, speculate is that this will allow developers to, almost use it as like a dev kit for the Quest 3.
Yeah.
And that would kind of make sense because Zuckerberg went on a podcast last week, which, hey, I'm dream guest right there. Let's, love to have Zuck on here sometime, motherfucker. What the hell?
We'll see how that goes.
But he said on that podcast that the Quest 3 would be coming next year and would be either 300, 400, or 500, which means 500.
I figured there's going to be tiers. There'll be like 64 gig, 128, and like 256, some shit like that. And it's like, I'll tell you right now, 500, that made me wicked happy.
And realistically, they're probably going to have their default line for gamers and for your everyday users. And then there probably will eventually be a Quest 3 Pro, just like the Quest 2 Pro, completely out of most people's price range, not worth the upgrade and cost. And
yeah, but you'll get a lot of that same technology in that next.
Exactly. I think that's what they're doing is they're doing the consumer model and they're doing the enterprise model. And look, anybody can buy the enterprise model. Is it going to be worth it to your average person? Maybe not. Is it going to be worth it to businesses to get, 30 for their team and increase productivity? Possibly,
I wouldn't. I mean, I'd freaking love to have one. I mean, the price tag is the unselling point for this guy.
Me too, unfortunately. Unless you want to go and join that old Patreon and get some ad-free episodes, join the Discord benefits, get some on-air shout-outs.
A whole lot of Patreons, whole lot. But no, I'd love to have it just for the option as well. Like, I'd still play my Quest 2 because I had even thought of it. I'm like, my brain still, even now, is like, maybe you should just get one and look back later, But,
you don't want to get it and then, what's next year? The Quest 3 is coming out February, March, April. What is that? Or does it mean next year? December? Those are big things, but there's still a lot of.
I am committed to the next one for 500 though.
Oh,
no problems.
I'm day one pre-order. And there's still a lot of good games coming to the Quest too. A lot of good games coming.
Ghostbusters is coming.
Ghostbusters is still coming. They just announced, and this is kind of back to the, Meta drops a game announcement. It's probably, with dates, it's probably very soon. One of the few games on PlayStation VR that I was envious of that was like PlayStation VR exclusive and we never got on a Quest was Ironman VR. I've even had people like, I'm kind of pitching VR to them. They're like, is there a superhero game? I think I've seen Yo, people love Marvel. People love that
No,
stuff.
I get it.
So you tell them no, and it's like right in the gut. And then even worse, that there is an Iron Man game, but it's only on PlayStation VR. Like, double gut punch. Well, Oculus bought that studio. It's not Oculus. Meta bought the studio that makes the game, and now it's coming to the Quest 2 in November.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
No,
When they started showing the preview, and I'm like,
we're getting Iron Man VR on the Quest.
I'm
too.
like, even though I heard, I think Tony Stark and all, I'm like, this can't be. They're not. How's this even possible? And then when I saw like Sony Interactive or whatever,
man, and you know the way it's going. Graphics are only getting better and better. Things are getting pushed. I'm excited for this.
this is the reason why you probably want the Pro.
I wonder if they bought the studio just to get the game.
Well,
That's it.
It comes with a lot more than that.
Yeah, but they've made some other games too, and then they also bought.
And that one's actually coming out soon.
In November.
Yeah,
in November.
That
next
was
month.
like, of all the leaks and shit that you hear a lot of, it's like that one really slid under a lot of radars, I think.
Mm-hmm. Like that
Although there's somebody who's probably screaming at the top of their lungs. I've been
Okay.
telling people for 6 months and nobody listened.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. But they also bought the developers behind Resident Evil 4 VR.
Yeah.
So they're on a tear. So one of the games that was announced, I think at like the Facebook Connect like last April or something. Remember when they did that?
Yeah.
They announced the Walking Dead sequel, but there was no release date, just that it's coming. But it's coming December 1st. So The Walking Dead.
Be so scary.
Yeah, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 2
So
sequel.
scary.
Look, that was even now one of the best games on the Quest store in terms of like story-driven adventure. Is it? Nowadays there's better graphics games, but
Yeah, but those graphics are still
still holding up.
damn
Yeah,
good.
so let's see what number 2 brings, and then they also dropped a very, no info trailer about their next game too. The studio making Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 2, they have a new game coming out called Behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
What it is?
There's some hype about that though.
Well, just because of the studio, but I mean, like, it's like when Elder Scrolls, when Bethesda teased the next game in the series, and it was just mountains, and you're like, well, that's nothing. I got nothing. It's just like, yeah. So let's see. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping it's something. Hey, look
Could be friggin' anything.
Yeah, I hear the name Behemoth. I don't know why. I go to like open world adventure game in the woods. Don't ask why.
No, I'm actually kind of with you. I thought open world something.
Yeah, something RPG, something in
naturey.
the woods. Yeah, something about that. And the way the trailer looked too, but it was very quick. So, between the sequel to Saints and Sinners 2 coming out and their next game that they have already announced, that studio's up to some good stuff.
Yeah, and what's crazy too is like they announced a lot of good shit coming, but there's still other games coming that they didn't announce, but like Survivor Man VR, which
that's coming next year.
I'm stupid excited for.
I got an email about it. Like
the other day.
their newsletter.
Dude, you've been watching. I mean, we've been following the production of this game since.
I don't want to cut us credit. I don't want to pat ourselves on the back and say how great we are or anything. But I'd argue we were amongst the first people to discover this game.
Yeah.
Like we discovered this shit early.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, we've yet to play it. I mean, it's not like that kind of discovered, but as far as like the early beginnings of the whole process and what they have put into this is over the top.
Remember when they had like 5 followers on Instagram?
Yeah.
Or you sent me this. You're like, "Is this real?" And I was like, "This looks legit."
Yeah, Stroud. I mean, they got the dude himself.
Yeah. So it's cool. So yeah, Survivor Man. That wasn't announced at the Quest Connect or anything like that, but that is coming next year.
Yeah, and it's just there's a litany of other games that they're running their own promotion for.
That's actually a great example of, remember when we talked to Chris Pruitt, he says, hey, look, things take 2 years to come. We saw that game about a year ago. Now it's coming next year. Who knows how long Ironman VR has been in work, and who knows.
I still don't know how they laid so low with it.
Well, who knows what's only been in the work for a year and is coming next year. So, I mean, oh man, I think they're going to keep that Quest 2 store packed with better and better releases until like literally the day the Quest 3 store drops.
Well, the store, I mean, for all its, and there's a shit ton of games on the store, but it's like still in the big hog of things until they get to like that 1,500 mark or 2,000 different apps and games. It's, we're going to see some really cool shit coming.
Yeah.
And they have a pretty strict standard of what goes in the store or not. So it's like, as developers reach that standard and their product gets put there, it's going to be amazing.
And I mean, kind of on to more good games coming. I'm
Drum roll, please.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I've been saying the whole time I'm excited. I had a great time with this during the pandemic. Among Us is finally coming out. You know, it's getting made by Shell Games for VR.
I think $9.99. I think that's the price. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah, I don't remember 100%.
Don't quote me.
I even saw some people saying like they could sell that shit for 20, no problem, and people.
I thought I saw the price in the store.
Yeah, it probably is because you can pre-order it right now.
Yeah,
but it's coming out November 10th, and I am so freaking excited for this. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm real excited.
Yeah, it's legit pretty cool.
So that's another thing coming. You know, there's a couple other software things that they talked about during the Quest Connect too. One of the more controversial ones is their legs. Presentation. So, to the excitement of everyone, which, by the way, let me skip around for a second. They showed this conference in VR as well. So, we didn't watch it in VR.
People we know that did, though, said it was freaking amazing.
I heard that's the bee's knees from everybody. Yeah. Everybody who watched it in VR said, look, it was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
So, I'll give them that. You know,
I'm happy their servers held up.
Yeah. I mean, and... I will say, though, I do hope that they get away from the pre-recorded presentations. I kind of joke Steve Jobs is rolling in his grave seeing pre-recorded keynotes because it makes it a little cornier.
I get it, though. Yeah, there's a lot being said.
But look, none of them are professional.
It's easy to make a mistake.
They all work in tech. They're not professional actors.
Yeah.
And you can tell when there's a script. Like, which moments are heavily scripted. Like, whenever they have the two people in front of each other talking and just have a fucking conversation.
Thanks, boss.
Yeah, it's so scripted. I get it. So... You know,
so what do you have to tell me about what is happening?
We have so much cool things coming, you know.
Yeah, but I mean,
I get it.
I mean, what was the alternative? They hire actors, and then that's not gonna work.
Or just do a keynote presentation. It's not like that. People haven't been doing keynote speeches for decades and done amazing ones. Some of the best keynotes ever are live in the moment. You will never see a keynote speech go down in the history. You're asking people to like really step out of their element versus like, hey, we're going to record this. And if you're not comfortable with it, we'll re-record it. And well, there's a difference between playing a presentation during a keynote speech too, which you could do as well with a nice little pre-recorded thing. But that full live big presentation should be live in my opinion. But nonetheless, I'm ranting.
That's funny.
But like I was alluding to, they are bringing legs to the meta avatars and updating the meta avatars as well, making them much more detailed. I love the meta avatars. I love games that integrate them. You know, we said that the legs were a little controversial, and the reason being is because they look so good. Zuckerberg was jumping with them and stuff like that, which, guess what? They use CGI. Well, not CGI. They use motion capture for it. So they had somebody in there with, you know, probably leg suit on, do a little jump, and then they said that was their upcoming
Imagining auditioning for Zuck's legs.
They probably just had him do it.
Like, how many people do you think they went through? I'm Zuck. I'm not using my own legs. Right. Hire me somebody to walk for me.
Now, I will say I do have faith when the update drops that they will look good.
Yeah. No,
I'm sure they were just like, look, they're coming next year. If they were
was
ready
I disappointed we didn't see a real working version? Yeah, but... You know,
well,
whatever.
Here's the reality. If we saw a real working version, they wouldn't be coming next year. They'd be coming next month or the end of the month. No, the reason we didn't see a real working version is because they're not ready yet.
I get it.
But we are getting legs and updated avatars. And as somebody
with facial expressions that are real, not the, if you're talking and your avatar just smiles.
Well, if you're on the Quest Pro, there will be real.
Correct.
Not us Quest 2 users.
No. We're...
And the rumor is
lackeys.
That the Quest 3 won't have face and eye tracking. That's the rumors that it's too expensive of technology to get into
So it's $1,000 piece? I want to know how much it is because you're already going to get me for $5. So I know the Pro is $15. So we'll say, okay, $500. I know what I'm getting. You telling me that just that other feature cost $1,000? I can live without it. I'll take a legless avatar all day long.
I love social VR. I don't need face tracking for $1,000 extra. No. I get your point. That one feature costs $1,000, but
makes you wonder,
right? So, you know, just to jump around a little bit too. You know, we talked about the Pico 4 coming out, which props, dude. I want to get my hands on one, but they just announced some of their production,
luck.
yeah, some of their orders are delayed because of unprecedented demand.
That's a wicked good, because I figure there's a lot of Quest 2 users who are going to get one regardless. So it's just another example that this market's going to really win it in the long run.
If I could get my hands on one, I would have one just to know, you know, even if, hey, I still went with my Quest 2 overall or whatnot.
I want to know.
It seems like potentially a Quest 2.25.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I get it.
In the meantime, if I'm not going to get a Quest Pro or anything like that.
It's not a Quest 2. It just maybe might be a little better in a couple areas.
I don't know if I'll say 2.5, you know, maybe 2.25. But good for them for getting that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, hey, not good for the consumers who aren't getting their headset so fast.
But that's
cool
good, because
that means that
it's happened to everybody. I mean, it's happened to Microsoft and Sony.
And it's not the first headset that they've ever shipped. So, you know, it's not like that, oh, hey, they don't understand production lines or anything. No, they have established lines.
They freaking sold out.
They just, they oversold. Oh, shit, look at that.
The rest of the world other than North America friggin' bottom.
That explains why they don't sell in North America yet. They were not, they were just not prepared. If Europe sold them out.
Dude, they could release it to a state and it would probably sell out.
Which, hey, I'll actually give them, you know what, props to them, because that means that they're probably they're on the whiteboards right now trying to figure out how they can get their supply chains ironed out in the U.S., I'm sure, because it's like, look, people want this thing. So.
No, if I can get my paws on one, I will.
And, I mean, the market's getting hot. There's some rumors that Valve's dropping one, a standalone headset. The leaks guy, Bradley Lynch. Man, we got to get this guy on here sometime, because
he'd be fun to talk to.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, he's been saying for a while, Valve is working on another standalone headset. But you know, in terms of confirmed, HTC is very much teasing that they're about to drop a new headset, standalone.
Valve had a weird tweet or message the other day.
Yeah, well, hey,
and it has people wondering what the hell it could be, a game, or it could not be. I can't remember exactly what the word is, so I'm not even going to make it up.
Yeah, there's some rumor about, I saw that they might be making a optimized game for the Steam Deck, their portable system.
So we'll see.
But, you know, HTC Vive is teasing a new standalone headset too. And they're like, stay tuned, we're dropping it soon. Or like info about it soon.
See, it sucks because that's going to be another high-end one that, you know.
That's not what they're referencing.
I need poor people headsets. That's what I need. Focus on like the, you know, the working person.
What they keep alluding to on Twitter is that it's going to be consumer affordable and standalone.
Okay.
They were even joking to people like, "Oh, let's see if you can."
Consumer affordable. I like that word.
Like they threw one shady tweet like, you know, see if it's too late.
Consumer affordable.
You know, make sure it's not too late to cancel your pre-orders for headsets. You know. There was
one thing that came out of the conference that had me more excited for anything.
What's that?
I'll wait to see if you've got notes on it.
Oh, what, the Population 1 sandbox mode?
Nope.
What's that?
Nope. The marriage between Jesus, and we had literally just talked about
Microsoft,
this.
The partnership between Microsoft and Meta.
And sounding like Meta's going to be using potentially their cloud servers.
Well, not potentially. It's the Xbox cloud servers are coming to the Quest.
Dude.
So you will be able to play It's weird to call it 2D because, like, you know, the gaming has gone from 2D meaning 2D to like 3D, you know.
I took it as 70-inch TV screen.
But you can play flat screen games from the Xbox library.
With your controller too, correct?
You got to, because how would you do it with your Quest controller,
I
right?
don't know.
It wouldn't work.
I started playing Red Dead Redemption 2 all over again.
Because you're preparing to play it flat screen in VR?
Yeah.
Now, here's my question. Can I pay for the subscription, not have a physical Xbox? And
I don't know.
Basically have an Xbox with a monthly fee and that I play on my Quest?
Why not? Just have access to their cloud server games?
Yeah, why not?
When the dude said, and he laughed about it, like, oh, potentially this time next year you'll be able to play Microsoft Flight. And I was thinking, we've talked about this so many times too, of how well it actually runs on, you know, my Xbox One when it's not designed. It's like the Xbox.
Yeah, it
XS.
optimizes the hell out of it.
Oh my freaking God, and it works.
So, I mean, I don't know if I used to say it on
the podcast. I got beyond excited because to me that's a whole new, once VR can, you know, prove that the cloud server gaming works, dude, it's you don't need to download anything ever again.
I don't remember if I said it on air, but you got to remember me saying like a year ago that the ultimate partnership would be is if you could use your Quest 2 headset on an Xbox, and that was that was Microsoft's endeavor into, console VR was through a Quest 2. I was like, Microsoft and Meta would dominate.
And I'm just making.
I hope it gets to that point.
And it went far deeper than just the use of cloud servers and shit. There were,
so
you'd be able to work on any Microsoft spreadsheet if it's a Microsoft program.
They're getting enabled Microsoft Teams, which is a very, very
Dude,
established.
for designers, graphic design, everybody. That was huge news.
Yeah, and it's just the start. So hopefully they keep rolling that out, significantly more. Hopefully this is just the start of many things to come. So I'm excited to try to play some Xbox games on the Quest.
I had posted, I'm like, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at Sony corporate when the shit was going down and everyone's here like, what are we going to do? I mean, how do you...
Well, again, dude.
That's the ultimate partnership.
Again, if you could start to use an Xbox with your Quest 2 to play VR games, high-end VR games, dude, it's over.
Who knows?
World domination.
Yeah, that becomes a pretty
very powerful partnership.
What if you could plug your headset into your Xbox and utilize its processing power?
And what if this is the start of, not just using Microsoft's cloud servers for, Xbox gaming to play those Xbox games? What if this is the start of Meta having access to them to do their own cloud servers?
That's
cloud gaming, like rent the servers.
That's me what the step is.
Because there's been
rumors.
That
step into the, let's see how it works with the mic. I mean, this is huge.
There's been rumors for a while that Meta's working on some sort of cloud service to play like PC VR games standalone on the Quest. And man, if they could get access to those Microsoft ones, which again, you said, they work so freaking good.
Yeah, I play them all the time.
Oh man, it's exciting times in the world of VR, definitely.
Yeah, so that one made me really excited.
And then, I guess we got to talk about it now because I guessed it when you were saying like, hey, let's see if you talk about it. Population 1, they're dropping a sandbox mode.
Yep, build your own
maps, build your own everything, it seems. Which at first, I won't lie, my initial reaction, I was like, ooh, I'm a little worried that that's going to distract from the player base a little bit, and we're going to see the numbers of players shrink, what, yada, yada. I was like, dude, what am I saying? They've had custom games for like, what, almost 2 years now?
It's just going to, you know what I'm going to build?
What?
The old Counter-Strike AK versus Cult. And it's like, so many people get dropped off on one side, so many people on the other, and there's just a wall in front of you to protect you, and it's wide open space in the middle. It's just for gun practice.
Most simple layout possible.
Oh, unbelievable.
Oh, man, I can't. So that's exciting. Props to Big Box.
I'm wicked excited.
So props to Big Box.
Especially if they're going to, I don't know what tools they're going to give us to play with here, but if it's every existing tool that they currently have, come on, man. And then don't act like...
Knife-only maps.
Don't act like someone's not going to build some kick-ass map and they're going to have a quote-unquote contest, and then that map will be integrated into the actual Pop 1 game.
Even if just for like a temporary event like they always do. Oh, man, there's so much potential.
They're just freaking genius.
Like I always say, once the internet runs wild with something, it's done. It's done. It's like people are going to get so creative with this. I can't wait.
It's going to be neat.
I also think this might be like, look, they don't want to do mods, but Contractors is getting a lot of attention with their mods. Maybe they're like, we need some sort of answer.
Let them build.
Let them build.
Let them build. And
give them the tools.
Yep.
Give them the tools. Let them go crazy. It's the only way, because we'll probably see Halo-inspired maps. Even if you don't have the physics,
you'll see your Star Wars map.
Yeah, people are gonna do it. So
see what people do with like freaking Minecraft or whatever. They build some crazy shit.
So only a couple more things to talk about today, but real quick before we continue on, you want to take a quick message from our sponsors?
Of course.
The people who, like I always say, they help keep the show afloat. But if you don't like ads or you just want to help us grow too, you can subscribe, rate us 5 stars. That's always cool beans. You can also join our online communities at Reddit, our Discord. You can find the links to those in our show notes or episode description. We also have a Patreon server with some really cool perks. Like I said, ad-free episodes, Discord benefits, on-air shout-outs, whole bunch of cool things. So go check that out. And in the meantime, enjoy this nice message from our sponsors.
Smooth sack summer is slowly coming to an end, fellas. If you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it's not too late to sweep your sack of those pesky pubes. As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh just in time for Fresh Ball Fall. The leader in below-the-waist grooming is here to make sure your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Start the new season the right way and join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Ruff Talk VR at manscaped.com. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep your sweet, sweet sack in check. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver, toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Now that your sack is smooth, lather up with Manscaped's liquid formulations to get that fresh ball fall freshness. The Crop Preserver, ball deodorant to stay cool in the heat. Their soothing aloe vera formula is the best in the business for below-the-waist freshness, and the clear drying formula keeps your sack looking and smelling good. Great goosey moosey! Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag that'll bring your comfort to another level at home and on the go. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as we say sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall.
Damn, Stratus, have you been working out or is that a new shirt?
Nah, it's just a new shirt.
What is it? Is that your True Classic tee right there?
It is.
Oh my goodness. Check this. At the Ruff Talk VR podcast, we just landed a brand new podcast sponsor.
One that I'm really happy about.
Well, let's be real. It's the case with you. It's the case with me too. Anybody who knows us, we're pretty weird about, shirt material.
Yeah, I don't like certain things on my skin.
No, I'll drive my girlfriend crazy. I'll put on a shirt. I'll sit
Take
there
it
for a
right
second.
off.
I'll be like, nope, need a different one.
Too thick.
Yep.
Too heavy.
Material, fabric, weight, it's all essential for wearing a shirt.
Yep. You're speaking the truth.
And you know what? These shirts came in. True Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Their shirts, they're lightweight.
They form fit really nice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like not everybody's got the
jackpot.
guns, but you don't need it with these type of shirts. Real form fit. If you're, we'll say, a bigger size gentleman,
Dad body?
either long or
bod.
just bigger, it really doesn't make that hanging feature that you see some shirts put on. It kind of just hangs right over.
The most important thing for me was going to be how it felt on my skin more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything outside of that's an added bonus. So they've hit all the boxes that one would need checkmarked for a good quality T-shirt.
Yeah. So whether you're like us and you're very particular about the type of shirt you're putting on, or you're just having trouble finding a good fit T-shirt, check out True Classic. You can use code word RuffTalkVR, all one word. You can save 25% off your order, and they even do free shipping with orders above $100.
Yeah, that's in today's times. That's worth its weight in gold.
And you might say $100 in shirts. Go
shop.
You know what? They got packs. They do other things besides shirts. They do workout stuff. You say.
Yeah, you can bundle your own little wardrobe accessories there. They got something for everybody. But if they could send out like a little 4-inch swath of their shirts to just millions of people, mm-hmm. I bet you millions of people.
Just sample the fabric.
Because before I even put mine on, I just wanted to feel it, mm-hmm. and I knew before I was even going to put it on, I'm like, this is a good T-shirt.
Yeah,
and it sounds crazy, but they're definite. I'm living proof. I got a whole drawer in my house full of shirts that I will not wear, each for a specific reason.
Yeah, no, True Classic tees is not going to fall into that pile.
Nope, they home runned it. They really did. So, and I'm happy that they did, because otherwise we certainly wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Yep, and I'm glad that now we can share some savings with our podcast listeners. So,
absolutely.
Again, that's 25% off with code RuffTalkVR, and purchases over 100, free shipping, baby.
Nice.
All right, so just a couple more things to talk about before we wrap this baby up, because I think we've gone over just about everything that that we missed in our week off of news and our kind of banter news episode. But something really cool to see was that, according to Meta at the conference, 1 out of 3 apps on the official store break $1 million. They're making $1 million plus in revenue.
Yeah, if I ever heard an incentivized speech for people to go out and
if you get on the official store, there's a
you have
33% chance that you're going to
33.333.
Yeah. Now you could be negative and say, look, that means that 2/3 of apps aren't even making $1 million yet.
Aren't even
For a niche like VR.
I'll tell you this, for the most part, unless you're doing like that Survivor Man shit, or there's been a couple of other games where they've taken a production to a little Hollywoodish level, it's not costing you $1 million. Depending on what your time is worth, you could say, well, I'm worth $1 million a year. Well, then it'll cost you $1 million. But
yeah, I know it's not on the official store, but an amazing
there's people
game.
who have made great games during COVID lockdown.
Bocce Time
in
is
their
a great
room,
example.
And are they put out a great product. It's like, damn.
That was a really cool number to see. And, people will always push the barrier. So if you heard these numbers a couple of years ago, people they wouldn't even believe it. But now what they'll do is they'll go, well, now that it's successful, now we just have to push the line more. And, well, how does that compare to Sony, to Microsoft, PC games, But the reality is it's a great sign for the industry. I mean, people are making money.
Yeah, it's proof.
And I also think it's proof for the curation process that, some people might not be the biggest fan of, but I don't think that you have 1/3 of apps making $1 million plus if you just allow everybody onto the official store.
No, there's even some very low rated games that are out there that have made a substantial amount of money, but they don't have like a 4-point rating, like a 2 something. But if you can look at their kind of do the math, hocus pocus, like with the ratings and reviews, and you're like, Jesus, they actually made money, but it's not a great game.
Yeah, well, theoretically made money, and you don't always know the
I don't
back
know
of the licensing and everything. But on appearance, it seems they did.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool number. And then one last thing to talk about before we wrap this baby up too. Shell Games is teasing that they're giving a free.
It's always Shell Games.
Yeah, man, Shell Games dropping Among Us next month. I cannot wait for that. That's probably like the one major studio I don't think we've had. Major VR studio, I'll say, that we haven't had somebody on to talk to. So hopefully one day we can get somebody from there too.
They're closed up like a shell,
right? But they're dropping a free DLC mission for I Expect You to Die. Free I Expect You to Die DLC mission. That's freaking cool.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite series in VR.
You and I had talked about replaying it recently,
well,
just to see how we remembered all the maps.
You think you wouldn't? I mean, you think you would just be able to go through it, but I bet you I'd struggle a lot.
Yeah, I know there's some I'd be like, how the hell did I do?
Right.
Or even the first one, sitting in the car.
Dude, that was probably the best. I was actually just thinking about that the other day. What a great introduction to their game. That first mission, you're in a car and you're like, so what the fuck do I do?
I don't know. But they told me did you hear that damn theme song? They expect me to die.
Yeah, and like we said during our review of it, you will die.
Oh, yeah.
You will die a lot.
A whole bunch of times.
And that is one of the series that you don't have to start with the second one, but start with the first one.
You'd say that no matter what.
Yeah, but man, it's...
A game could come out and specifically say when you turned it on, if you didn't play the first one, it's quite all right. Yeah, and they would hear you be going, I would definitely play that first one first.
Yeah, you'll still get lore benefits, everything like that. No, but 2 is pretty much a continuation of 1.
Yeah.
Pretty much right where it lets off.
In this particular case, I agree. I won't argue at all about that.
And I'll also say the difficulty of 2.
I expect you to die.
Yeah, great opening. So I hope that... do you think they're going to have a whole new opening for this or no?
I don't know. Are they going to... Well, I don't want to spoil her, but they can't have Will Wheaton, so...
I'm curious.
I just want more from them.
Right.
I want to Expect You to Die 3 and 4 and 5.
But dude, what a week! What a week! We got Quest Pro dropped,
and that was just the top of everything.
Yeah, there's still stuff we missed. Arcaxer, the game that won the App Lab Game of the Year for our award show.
Yeah,
it's going to the official Quest store at the end of the month.
I know I don't know. I mean, we have no juice, but
No,
It's weird. There's a whole handful of games that are
I'd argue.
store-bound that we were pretty big proponents, definitely, of saying this deserves to be in the store.
Yeah, if you go through the list of games that we've reviewed for App Lab, at
Mhm.
this point, a good amount of them have gotten that official store push. Hell, I just saw news the other day.
Yeah,
One of my
I'm
favorite
so
App Lab
excited
games,
for
yeah.
this guy. I'm happy for his team, especially with everything that's been going on
Yep.
in the world.
Iron Guard VR, it's a tower defense game in VR on App Lab. Now moving to the official Quest store, there's really not good traditional tower defense games on the official store. So it made no sense that this one wasn't on it unless it was something
Frame rate issues or yeah.
But that should have been,
They obviously did what they had to do.
Yeah,
but again, he's like the NATO of.
Yeah, let's be real. They're a team that split. We interviewed them too. So if anybody wants, we reviewed the game. We interviewed them. Iron Guard VR, a great VR tower defense game. But they are split between America, America, Ukraine, and Russia. They're split between America and United States. Well,
Oh, that was great.
so yeah, they're split between United States, Ukraine, and Russia.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot going.
And they were still figuring out how to do their jobs.
Yeah.
So.
And what a great game too.
Yeah.
Like, phenomenal game.
It's one of my favorite freaking games.
Well, we both love tower defense games.
Dude,
So-
not only did I like that game, but I had to be an asshole and make sure that I was on every single leaderboard for every single
I remember
map.
that.
And I didn't care that I finished the map. I went back and kept playing it over and over. I'm like, I'm going to take over.
I bet you're off of every leaderboard by now.
I'm going to say no.
You're confident?
I'm confident on a couple of them.
Okay, there's
Because
a
I
couple.
checked a little while ago. And when I say a little while ago, that was probably
Okay.
half a year ago.
Yeah, at this point, times are going so quick.
Like air guitar, I stayed on that leaderboard for a long time.
Unplugged, that's another
Yeah,
great game.
and
That
now,
keeps dropping some more music too.
Now I'm off it, which blows me away because I'm telling you, perfects were perfects. So someone's perfect was better than my perfect.
But dude, what a week! Quest Pro
Yeah.
dropping,
Pico,
HTC teasing their stuff. We got the news from Zuck on a podcast that the Quest 3 is dropping next year with estimated
Reasonable
price.
price
Yeah,
tag.
I'm happy with it. We're getting Ironman, Among Us. No GTA, but whatever. I won't cry. We're getting cloud gaming, Xbox cloud gaming. We're getting free I Expect You to Die mission. Dude, there's so much. This past week has
I
been.
expect you to die.
I'm excited for legs too. I really am. I'll be
Excited
honest.
for what you're gonna kick.
I saw some. Well, there's no leg
For
tracking.
I'll tell you what, if they can do leg tracking with the Pro, I would assume. Or is it all guesswork?
If you can, dude.
Because
Imagine
that's a workout game changer.
What a great week though. I mean, overall, the world of VR moves so fast. I cannot,
Like a bullet,
dude.
but seems to just not lose the velocity and drop down. It's just getting higher and higher. So it's more like a rocket.
Yeah, the list of upcoming games, like I can't say it enough. I am so excited to see this next year of releases.
Beyond pumped.
Yep. Something I'm loving to see too is our Discord server, which again, if you're not in that, you like the podcast, you don't even know how to use Discord. We'll teach you. Because I barely know how to use that shit too, I'll be honest. Especially when we first started, I was like,
I'm getting better month by month.
yeah, it's definitely a skill. So don't think that we're Discord experts either. We'll be in the same field as you. It's cool to see our Discord has been falling in love with Mother Gunship Forge.
I'm telling you, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. That is one of the biggest hidden gems on that store right now.
Absolutely. Like,
If you haven't played it, don't let, for some reason, I don't know why, but it's like if you look at the game description and all that, it
the pictures, I'll skip it.
does not do it justice.
No, and we reviewed a lot of roguelite and roguelike. Sometimes I mix them up, but we reviewed a lot of them
Rogues.
recently. They're not my number one genre either. And like this one on the, there is progression, but not.
It's the
Black.
randomness
Yeah.
of the whole thing that
The
just-
progression is, the different items you can get, but it's not like you increase your stats and stuff like that. Usually I need progression. This one is
No.
like, it's just not
This
even,
is- this
I don't even
one's
view
weird.
it like a roguelite or a roguelike. It's its own freaking thing.
Never played anything like it.
Yeah. I
As
just hope
far
that,
as like how your weapons and shit are put together, and then the
Oh.
more you play it, the more your brain starts making connections on shit you never
Yep.
even thought of before.
and we are so close to beating that last boss in co-op. And I'm not talking about like the third boss.
No.
You know, because you beat the third boss, you
Get
can
the
either
heart.
exit or keep going by using a key. Talking about that last boss.
The heart.
Dude, there's sometimes I'm playing those last ones because like when you're doing that, it's like every room's a challenge room, the times two. There's one, I'm like, if this was anything more, there'd be frame rate drops. Like, it is so intense.
You know, with the fact that
There's no frame rate drops.
I think we were playing the other night, and you had like 7 guns, one of which the campfire, it's like the flamethrower, and I think I had 6 guns, and I know I had the pizza launcher and rocket launcher, and friggin' I didn't know how it was even keeping up with that because we were past the third boss, so now we were going for the heart. And friggin' that's when shit gets, like, those enemies move fast and there's a lot of them. And I didn't know how it just doesn't jam up. I'm like, I don't get it.
And it's so endlessly fun. It's the same, like the same bosses every time, but it's never the same run because of your weapon changes. Oh, man.
The randomness to everything, from the options of what you can get to the doors you can go through. But anyways,
so I can't.
I'll talk about that game forever. I don't care.
I can't say it
I'm
enough.
in love with it.
I want those other game modes, though.
And they updated it with a Halloween thing, so you know it's on their radar. So there's more to come.
Added some new stuff in that one, like new items and stuff too. So
and the mode we play is beta anyway.
So that my hope is that when it's out of beta, we have Sandbox and all the other ones in there. I imagine that's why it's in beta.
I hope so.
Oh, they added hats. They added hats too. Spooky little hats. So fucking cute. You'll be shooting these robot dinosaurs and they have a freaking hat on.
Yep.
So good.
No, hats off to them. And if you haven't checked it out, you know,
can't say it enough.
I don't know why anybody wouldn't like it.
It's fun single player. It's fun co-op. You know,
it's surprisingly better than you'd ever think it would be.
Yeah.
I in a million years didn't think I would enjoy it this much, but I knew when I was like, well, what's this? It's all random like this? I'm not guaranteed.
No, I'll never forget that first time we played it co-op and you went, oh. Oh,
this is a game changer.
I'm gonna like this.
Yeah, and it's just strictly the randomness to it. Like, there's some modes you can play where you have more control of your weapons and such, but I really like that, like, what's behind door number 2 feeling. You know, and then when you get like a legendary weapon or something, how good do you freaking feel? You're like, you feel like you actually won something.
Yeah. Oh no, dude.
Better than you feel if you had fought for it. It's really strange.
Yeah, I love that game. I love it so much. So, you know, great week of VR content. You know, new headset dropping this month, new headset dropping next year, rumored headsets,
games
dropping this year.
It's raining games.
New games like Behemoth announced for, you know, who knows, could be a year or two, but, you know, just between Among Us, you know, Saints and Sinners 2, man, there's so much.
Ghostbusters is around the corner.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
I'm excited for Iron Man, and just most if anything to report to my friends how it is, because they're all Marvel fans, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's more headset sales.
Yeah, great week of stuff, and you know, I'll be honest with you, we ain't got a review episode this week, but
we're doing something even better, I guess.
Yep, we got a nice treat for you, so stay tuned. I know, I won't spoil anything. Yeah. So stay tuned for the rest of the week, and like I say, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, go join those communities, and check you out later.
Take care.